He was part of the Rattlebone Band, playing for English ceilidhs, country and contra dances, and as a musician and a dancer with the Vancouver Morris Men. He's also one of our dedicated volunteers with the Zoom sessions. Anyway, Graham, over to you. Take it away.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. A happy January the 19th to everybody. And my plan tonight is to take you on a bit of a whistle-stop tour around the British Isles. And we're going to start off in Cornwall, which is southwestern England. It's the bit that sticks out at the bottom. And Cornwall is a bit like Newfoundland in terms of climate and temperature and coastline and everything. And during the 18th and 19th centuries, there was a lot of emigration. It was a big mining county. There was a lot of immigration. A lot of people left, and a lot of them came to Canada. They went to the US, to Australia, and they were called Cousin Jacks, and the women were called Cousin Jennies. And this was the name given, I say, to 19th century Cornish mine workers emigrating to find work overseas when the Cornish mining industry closed down. They went all over the world. Anyway, here's a song called Cousin Jack. And it's all about mining. And in fact, it's interesting because I like this song because I came to Canada because I was in the mining industry. And this is all about people that came to Canada for the mining industry to some extent. This song has a great chorus. This land is barren and broken, scarred like the face of the moon. Our tongue is no longer spoken, and the towns all around face ruin. Will there be work in New Brunswick? Will I find gold in the Cape? If I tunnel way down to Australia, how will I ever escape? Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's where I'm heading for, that's where I'm bound. So look for me under the load or inside the vein, where the copper, the clay, where the arsenic and tin run in your blood and get under your skin. I'm leaving the county behind and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, Cousin Jack. The soil was too poor to make Eden. Granite and sea left no choice. Visions of heaven sustained us when John Wesley gave us a voice. Did Joseph once come to St. Michael's Mount? 2,000 years pass in a dream when you're working your way in the darkness, deep in the heart of the sea. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's where I'm heading for, that's where I'm bound. So look for me under the load or inside the vein, where the copper, the clay, where the arsenic and tin run in your blood and get under your skin. I'm leaving the county behind and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, Cousin Jack. Yes, follow me. To Canada, to America. South Africa. To Australia. Wherever there's a mine or a hole in the ground, I'm leaving the county. Must I leave my town? Redruth, Camborne, Weybridge, Port Isaac, St Ives, St Austell, Padstow, Helston, Falmouth. Remember us. Remember our names. Remember the white cross, the flag of Cornwall, on the black flag. And the waves crashing on the shoreline. I dream, yes. I dream of a bridge across the Tamar. It opens us up to the east. In my dreams, I see the English living in our houses. And I see the Spanish fishing in our seas. Where there's a mine or a hole in the ground, that's where I'm heading for, that's where I'm bound. So look for me under the load or inside the vein. Where the copper, the clay, where the arsenic and tin run in your blood and get under your skin. I'm leaving the county behind and I'm not coming back. So follow me down, Cousin Jack. Follow me down, Cousin Jack. Follow me down. Well, okay. Thank you very much. So from Cornwall, we're going to go to South Wales. And this is a seasonal song. During the month after Christmas, there's a strange custom in South Wales, and it's called the custom of the Mary Lloyd, which means grey mare. And this Mary Lloyd is probably a remnant of a great horse cult that reigned for several millions of years in the Celtic world. Often examples being the Great Uffington chalk horse and the Padstow hobby horse, which you've probably heard about. In parts of South Wales, the Mary Lloyd is still carried from house to house between Christmas and Twelfth Night. And this is what she looks like. There you go. And that's the Mary Lloyd in Vancouver. This is at the VOSC Society in Vancouver. And she's a beribboned mare's skull and will only be let into the house if the company carrying her can outwit the inmates in a riddling contest carried out in Welsh. So not many people can participate. The legend behind the custom is that the pregnant Mary Lloyd was cast out of the Bethlehem stable into the cold night to make room for a more prestigious Mary to give birth to a more prestigious child. And ever since, she's roamed the world searching for a place to give birth to her foal. So here you go, the Mary Lloyd song. It's happening right about now in what parts of South Wales, and it will be happening. Well, it will be happening if it wasn't for COVID, and it will be happening in the VOSC Society as well here in Vancouver. The hoodling horse, the Marbury dun, old Boneface, the deathless am I, heavy with foal, 2,000 years. Bridled with sorrow, saddled with fear, I canter through pastures of tremble and quake. I gallop the track between sleep and awake, seeking the deep of welcome and stint for my tears. Let me in. The mare-headed queen, the merry Lloyd, I was mother of all the herds. 10,000 years my shining foals, bridled with starlight, saddled with gold, leapt the divide between the living and the dead, quickened the year with each toss of the head, galloped the deep of beauty and never grew old. Let me in. But Mother of God, the Mary child, with Joseph appeared at the gate. The pregnant maiden came bursting with Jehovah's seed. She entered my stable and cried out her need. With ropes I was dragged from the birthing straw. Aching with foal, I was heaved to the door, swapping warmth for bitter weather and birth of a rival creed. Let me in. And now I am nightmare, I am rattling womb, the Uffington wraith I've become. Forced into darkness, you've made me a fiend, bridled with shadow, saddled with scream, from window to window, traversing the night, my face in your glass in a shudder of light, seeking that deep of welcome befitting a queen. Let me in, let me in, let me in. My Lord.
That's great.
Woohoo! So now we go up to the north of England, Yorkshire. This is somebody comes from Yorkshire. Who is it that comes from Yorkshire? Oh, Maureen. Maureen comes from up that way. Oh, Tyneside, isn't it? Tyneside. This happens in Tyneside
Hillary.
as well.
Sorry, Graham, Hillary.
Oh, Hillary comes from Yorkshire. Well, this happens all the way in the northeast. Okay, so I was told, you were told when I was introduced on a Morris dancer, one of the stars of Morris dance is sword dancing. Sword dancing occurs all over Europe, but it's taken hold in Yorkshire. And there's two types of sword dances: the long sword dance, and there's a rapper sword dance. This one is I'm going to do a song about the long sword dance. It's a modern winter song which sounds traditional, but it was written by a modern Yorkshireman called Paul Davenport. The song introduces the seasonal sword dances of northeast England. This is what they look like. And you see that bit, they hold the swords up and they interlock them. And when they interlock them, it's called either the lock, and it's also called the rose. And you'll hear it referenced. And they all dance round in circles. So the song introduces the seasonal sword dance. And I think it's specifically the Gotland Ploughstots, who we visited a few years back. And it's typically performed in the period around this time of the year. So again, another seasonal song. The men and the peripheral characters are introduced, and at the end of the dance, they form a rose shape by interlocking their swords and holding it up, the rose, above their heads. That's the climax of the dance. So here it is, and it's called Come See the Boys Go Round. And it goes like this. The boys go round, how sweet the music goes. Bring forth the plough to break the ground. the shining rose. When Christmas time is gone and past, when fields lie stark and bare, then let us brave the winter's blast without a fear or care. Without a fear or care, me boys, let each with one accord now dance the round on frozen ground with ribbons, drum and sword. Come see the boys go round, how sweet the music grows. Bring forth the plough to break the ground, raise up the shining road. Now first of all comes Beast and Bess, a-sweeping with her broom, to drive out winter's cold distress, to clear and make the room. To clear and make the room, me boys, so we may sport and play, with swords that clash and brightly flash upon this holiday. Come see the boys go round, how sweet the music goes. Come forth the plough to break the ground, raise up the shining road. Let Lord and Lady start the game, let Tom Fool sing the song that wakes these heroes of great fame who roll the year along. Who roll the year along, me boys, for only they know how. The plough becomes the shining sword, the sword becomes the plough. Come see the boys go round, how sweet the music goes. Bring forth the plough to break the ground, raise up the shining road. Now enter in those heroes bold, those heroes of great fame. Their forefathers in days of old each bore a glorious name. Each bore a glorious name, me boys, likewise a shining blade. They leap and spin, the swords go in, and thus the rose is made. Come see the boys go round, how sweet the music goes. Bring forth the plough to break the ground, raise up the shining rose. Come see the boys go round, how sweet the music goes. Bring forth the plough to break the ground, raise up the shining rose.
Yeah! Woo! Get up and dance.
All right. Folk songs are often talking about the trials and tribulations of the ordinary folk, and here's one that does just that. And it's a bit of a serious song, but it's a great song. It's a fabulous song. It's one of my favourites. But it's very topical as well. Have you ever noticed historically that people that are oppressed, when they release from that oppression, they have a habit of becoming oppressors themselves. Have you ever noticed that? The bloke who wrote this, a bloke called Vin Garbett, noticed this. So he wrote this song called When Oppressed Becomes Oppressor. And it goes like this. It's it really is just another story about the human condition that we're all struggling with. When oppressed becomes oppressor, and the best become the worst, when the meek become the mighty, and the blessed become the cursed, when the flame of faith is failing, and the light of love has died, and the fruit of truth decays upon the tree of human pride. Send me your huddled masses, cried America the free. Then from Saigon to San Salvador, the streets were filled with refugees. When oppressed becomes oppressor, and the best become the worst, when the meek become the mighty, and the blessed become the cursed, when the flame of faith is failing, and the light of love has died, and the fruit of truth decays upon the tree of human pride. The Jew who braved the ghetto, wearing David's sacred sign, in the promised land with stick in hand, he beats the child of Palestine. The Chinese peasant army faced the capitalist gun, and their long, long march to freedom ended in the square at Tiananmen. When oppressed becomes oppressor, and the best become the worst, and the meek become the mighty, and the blessed become the cursed, when the flame of faith is failing, and the light of love has died, and the fruit of truth decays upon the tree of human pride. The world expelled the man Saddam from defenseless Kuwait. Then the torturers of Al-Sabah sent hundreds to an unknown fate. When oppressed becomes oppressor, and the best become the worst, when the meek become the mighty, the blessed become the cursed, when the flame of faith is failing, and the light of love has died, and the fruit of truth decays upon the tree of human pride. The Chetnik fought so bravely to fend off the fascist hordes. Then his sons went raping Muslim girls on orders from a Serb warlord. Will we ever learn from history? The memory fades so fast, but we're destined to repeat the sins if we forget the past. When oppressed becomes oppressor, and the best become the worst, when the meek become the mighty, the blessed become the cursed, when the flame of faith is failing, and the light of love has died, and the fruit of truth decays upon the tree of human pride.
Thank you.
Here you go. And I couldn't leave this time of the year without a song from Robbie Burns. So here's a Robbie Burns song, which probably hasn't been done tonight. Certainly not in the groups that I was in, but here it goes. When Rosie May comes in with flowers to deck her gay green spreading bowers, when busy, busy are his hours, the gardener with his paddle, the crystal waters gently far, the merry birds are lovers all. The scented breezes round him blow, the gardener with his paddle. When purple morning starts the hair to steal upon her early fare, then through the dews the morn repair, the gardener with pale, the crystal waters gently far, the merry birds are lovers all. The scented breezes round him blow, the gardener with his paddle. When day expiring in the west, the curtain draws for nature's rest. He flies on arms he loves the best, the gardener with his cradle. The crystal waters gently far, the merry birds are lovers all. The scented breezes round him blow, the gardener with his cradle. When Rosie May comes in with flowers to deck her gay green spreading bowers, then busy, busy are his hours, the gardener with his paddle. The crystal waters gently far, the merry birds are lovers all. Scented breezes round him by, the gardener with his cradle. The gardener with his paddle. There you go. Robert Burns. And of course it's Robert Burns Day next Tuesday. So another seasonal song. Thank you very much.
Yay, thank you, Graham. Let's give a round of applause from those of us who can. Woo! Yeah, and you're getting lots of kudos in the chat, so make sure you take a look at that, Graham. Thank you so much. That was very rich and beautiful, and yeah, thank you. Wonderfully done. Thank you, Graham.
Thanks for inviting me.